painting as I go along. And I do a lot of these kind of studies as, I guess, as ideas, right? As, you know, kind of a developing ideas for paintings I might do later. And so a lot of them are like really loose like this, and there is quite a bit of um, just blocky mark making and just very loose and playful marks while I'm generating them. Just because later, you know, I may decide to use this in a more developed painting down the road. Okay. Um, and don't be afraid to, or be afraid to do this, because nothing has to be perfect. I mean, these kind of paintings that I'm sharing with you, or showing, when I'm showing you my process, it's you can, you, because I'm sharing like what I do in my studio with you, I want you to see that when you're experimenting, nothing needs to be perfect, you know. Um, these kind of loose, spontaneous things are how we learn, how to paint, and how you can generate ideas. And nothing here is, you know, a perfect finished painting. It's just a way to explore ideas. Maybe, you know, create something that I might want to develop further later. This doesn't have to be like a finished painting. I keep I keep lobbing on so much water. I keep trying not to, but I keep getting too much water on this painting, which is hilarious. I mean, I feel like all I keep doing is mopping water up. Um, it's it's hilarious. Here. Now I gotta get this cat's eye. I love the cat. The cat's cracking me up. He's very cute. Okay, so now instead of putting green paint all over the cat, I'm gonna come back in. Now, the other thing I'm thinking about this cat is that he could possibly have, hold on. Don't laugh at me because I can't finish the thought. Because now I'm looking at the cat and he's so cute. Okay. Now I'm thinking maybe the cat could have just a little bit of, my friend and I used to call kitty cats that had tabby. We used to call them M cats because they had M's on their heads. Those tabby cat, like cats that had a little bit of tabby. We used to call them M cats because they had M's on their head. So this cat's going to be an M cat because that's what we always called them. M cats. So I'm going to get my kitty. I'm going to clean him up a little bit with some white. Yeah, I'm not even, like, I slapped that M in so fast because I was thinking, oh, he's an M cat. And then, you know, if I overdid it a little bit, who cares? I'm just going to get back in here with white. And then I'm going to jazz him up a little bit. That's fine. It's good. It's all good. So I'm going to just get in here. I'm still going to make him an M cat. Sometimes I get carried away when I'm painting because I'm so excited about what I'm doing that I. So this guy, he is so cute. I love animals, so when I'm painting them, I get like, oh my god, he's so cute. I can't stand it. All right, let's see. All right. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's not even a big deal. Especially in acrylic. Oh my god, you could just paint right over it. Like I'm doing right now. Sometimes when I go to another area in a painting and then look back at what I did 5 minutes ago, I'll see like something that needs to be touched up, which is part of why I do it like that. So now I'm thinking, oh, I really like that better. I like that way better. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of that orange. I'm going to go around this kitty cat's chin like that. I'm going to redefine some of these areas here because, you know, I like that. Wow, I like the M cat. I like that a lot. Here. Okay. Now. And sometimes kitty ears, and I'm going to mix it in really soft, are a little pink inside. So I'm just going to do that. Okay. Now, I want to give him, just because sometimes these cats have a patch. You ever see those cats? They're like white, but then they have like a little tabby patch. That's what this guy's gonna have. I think. I'm gonna give him a little patch of tabby. And the reason I just did that is because he had a lot of drawing there that I wanted to cover up. And so that's why he's getting this. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of yellow in there. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab some white paint. And the white paint has just a little bit of something else on it. So, like a little beige on it. So it'll kind of soften that stark white of the paper. You never want to leave that white of the canvas. You always want to, you know, paint that out because otherwise it looks too stark. Okay. Oh, I love my kitty. Okay. Now I'm going to look back on my lady because that lady, I walked away from her for a minute so I could get a better kind of a perspective on her. And then now I can go back with fresh eyes because I didn't look at her for a minute. I was so focused on the cat for a second that now I can go back, kind of look at her. I'm going to touch his eyes up because I've kind of lost him for a minute. All right. But now I could kind of look at her again and say, oh, now I can get a very clear view. Like if you work your way around the painting and go back to areas you left for even 5 minutes, you can very often see if something needs to be redefined or picked up or changed. So there are some areas here that I think we can rework a little bit. I'm going to take some of this lighter color, white, and I'm going to put it back into like places on her nose. We always have, like, because the tip of our nose is very, it's very round, and there's just places on our nose that, you know, the light hits, right? So sometimes it's just a place where the light hits it, okay? And also like in the center of our throat and this part of our chest, there's also a lot of times a highlight. So we want to pick some of those areas of light up. And I'm just adding a little bit of the white into the pale part of the chest. Going into some matte medium here. And I'm just gonna spread some of that out. Okay. Trying to see what I should do for a background on this lady. can still see. You can still see some things I want to. Oh, that's so dark. I didn't mean to put that in so dark. Okay, so now I'm gonna go here on her arm a little bit, and here. All right. Okay, now. So she's kind of just sitting there in space. So maybe, let's see. What should we do with that? I think, all right, let's do this. Let's grab some of this red. Again, we need to really desaturate because this is just the craziest. Too bright red. Because we use magenta, we got to be careful. Because the magenta really, I'm going to make more green actually. First, we're going to do this green again. We're going to make some green. This, and we're going to desaturate again the red. All right, so I'm going to grab some of this. I'm going to desaturate it. So I'm making a darker kind of red just because we have such a bright magenta. And you could just see how I did that again, right? So I grabbed the green and look at the difference. Okay, because we got to get rid of that. It's just way too bright. So now I just want to kind of maybe just indicate that she's sitting in a chair, okay? So we just kind of want to, and I'm just going to do that because I want it to look like she's sitting someplace, okay? We don't have to really bring the chair on the other side or anything like that. I'm just going to make it look like she's sitting someplace, you know, other than in space. Because sometimes we like to think about, you know, we have to think about our people and not leave them hovering in space. So today, you know, I'm really kind of, a lot of times I'll just do a picture and we're not thinking about the background as much maybe. But I'm trying to, if we have a little time or whatever, and you're hanging out with me today, maybe we'll talk about, you know, just really simple things. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy here. I mean, I didn't even draw this. I'm not going to really. Sometimes I'll put a little bit of a background, but I don't know. I feel like she deserves a place to sit. Maybe. I zhuzhed it a little bit so that it was coming in. It gave it a little bit of a place to go. Okay, so she's sitting on the chair. This is really nice. All right, let's see. What else can we do? All right, I got a lot of paint on here. Let's see. Now, I'm gonna mix some of this white up with some of this matte medium because I'm not really 100% happy with how much blue. Now, if I go over the blue with a little bit of white, it'll tone down some of that blue because in some, I think I put a little bit too much blue under here. But I do like the cool shadow, but I think I overdid it a little bit here. So I'm gonna just go over some of it. Now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, what did I do to this poor cat? I gave him too much blue. I don't mind, but I think it's a little, I think I did too much of the blue on this kitty. And let's do this. There we go. Okay. Now he's looking a little better. Here, let's do this. I want to put some more kitty, orange kitty. There he is. Okay, he's much happier now that he's got that. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right, I'm trying not to pick too much at it because it's still a study. You don't want to go too crazy here. All right. All right. Yeah, there's the kitty. Okay. Oh, there he is. Now he's much happier. Okay. And then maybe we'll make his chin a little bit orange too. I'm gonna give him an orange chin. Okay. There he is. Oh, his chin is orange. Yeah, there he is. Okay. All right, now I'm not gonna bother him anymore. Oh yeah, I like him much better like that. Okay, so now what else? What else do we need? We need a color in the background. And let me think. I always need a plant, I think. I'm one of those people that always needs a plant in the background. So I'm going to give her some kind of plant of some sort of. All right. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to use some of this color, which is the brown. Okay, let's see. All right, we're going to use some of this brown with a little bit of the yellow in it, like that. I almost think I need more yellow. Now, this is why I always go on the thing about use up all the paint you have and then buy the best paint you can, because I don't use very much paint at all, because I use the better quality paint goes farther. It lasts longer, it goes farther. I mean, you saw how little paint I put out at the beginning of this stream. It goes so far. Now I just added a little bit more yellow, but I'm still on the original blobs. All right. So I wanted this tan, and now I'm just gonna go do a little bit. Now I like a little bit of movement in my paintings, and I very often add foliage and plants and things like that in the background, because I really love adding flowers and plants and greenery and just a little bit, because it also adds movement. And I feel like I don't know, it's just part of what I do. I mean, part of my painting style, etc. And, this is also the time of year that I start to develop paintings for the rest of the year that I start to send out, and open calls are going on right now. And this is, probably like something I could develop into something bigger, that I might want to send somewhere, So, like, I could work with something like this. This is more in my style of painting, I would do something like this. I love the idea of, the woman. Now I've added more blue into this green, like a darker green. I don't always paint with a limited palette. I think it's a really good way to learn how to mix color. Because once you can mix color like this from the three primaries, you will never be confused about it again. And I do have several videos on a color theory playlist about how to do it more specifically if you want to watch them. But it's very freeing to know, and I do simplify my color palette. I don't if you use too many colors, your colors will get messy and muddy. But if you know how to mix colors, you can really simplify your color palette, and you won't ever be confused about how to use color. And I really love bright colors. I kind of use very bright colors, and I love color in general in my paintings. So I love playing with color in paintings. So I'm really enjoying how this is looking right now. I think it's really fun. I want to come back in with more of this beige. Put some more in on these lines. And then I'm thinking I want to do like a tint of the blue, like a lighter version of that blue in the background. Did you think I forgot about the background? Because I didn't. I'm like thinking, what's going to look really good with that blue? That's what I'm thinking. I mean, what's going to look really good in the background with these colors? And I'm thinking, like, if I take that blue, right, and I add just a little bit of the, if I add just a little bit of that magenta, right, and so I'm gonna make like, I'm not gonna make purple. I mean, if I added a lot of it, it would make purple, but I'm gonna just make it a little bit more, I'm gonna just make a little bit, like this would make a beautiful, a gorgeous purple, but I'm just gonna make it more, a little bit more like that. But I'm not gonna really make purple. I'm gonna put more blue in it, okay? But then I'm gonna just grab some of this and make a beautiful tint. So a tint is anytime you add white, okay? So I'm gonna make this beautiful, beautiful color. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. And then I'm gonna add the matte medium, of course, because we wanna, the matte medium can do does a couple of things. It creates a, what do you call it? A glaze. Is this matte medium? Oh, that's matte medium too. Okay, so this creates a glaze. So it thins it out a little bit so it flows better. And then you can really, really apply it easier. It just makes it easier to put on. It's just beautiful, okay? So now we're gonna get just the right, that's gonna look really nice with this, with these colors. Okay, so now we're just gonna put this on. All right. Yeah, that's gonna look good. All right, so making it more towards the violet. It's not violet, but it's towards violet. Makes it almost complementary, not quite, but almost complementary to her yellow hair and the yellow in the cat. And so it makes it a singing color. So once you understand color theory a little better, you'll be able to choose your colors so that they vibrate with each other. So by making this color more towards the violet, I intentionally made it that way so that it would resonate, vibrate with the yellows that I already have in the painting. So this tan color, the second I put down this almost violet blue, began to vibrate. And when I put it next to her hair, you'll see how it's vibrating. Because it's almost violet. It's not quite violet, but it has those undertones of violet because I put so much magenta into it. Okay? And so when you know little things like that, and I have so many videos on my color theory board that explain how color theory works and how colors work together, that, you know, and this is all stuff you learn a little at a time, and if you're really interested in it, you can really get colors to work for you in your paintings. And then it's just been something I've been so interested in over the years, and I've incorporated it into my work as I've learned more and more about it. But I just really love color so much that it really resonated with me as a young artist, and I've just been kind of playing with it for so long. I just really love it, and I love the way it looks. And I've always been really drawn to artists with bright color palettes. So I don't know if you can tell or if you can see it. I'll put this up. I usually change the thumbnail after the live stream to whatever piece I worked on during the live stream, so you can see it. So I'm going to finish painting this, but I kind of tried to just keep this one super loose today. If you guys have questions, please throw them up. And before we, you know, because I'm almost done with this, but if you have any kind of questions at all, please throw them up and I'll look at them, and then I'll see if I can answer them for you before I close. I mean, I only have a minute or two left here because I'm just gonna paint this out quick. This background, I'm just gonna pop it in here, because I'm not going to do any kind of serious finish work on this. I'm just going to pop these colors in real quick. I'm taking the tape off so I can get underneath of it. Now, normally when I work on paper, I like to put like a rim around it, you know, the whole thing, so that I can pull it off, and then, I don't know. So then if you wanted to mat it, but I don't know. Sometimes they sell these, but not always. Okay. Sometimes I really like them when they're loose like this, though. You know, you're just like, this is so wet. You never get away with this with watercolor or something, because it runs into it. But you could go in so wet with acrylic, because it doesn't move the same way. It doesn't run into the wet colors the way gouache would. But I do a lot of work in watercolor and gouache just because I love it so much. This is a whole different thing. I want to say I do just as much acrylic and as I do watercolor and gouache. And when I move over to the big paintings that I'm going to do for my shows, I do a base in acrylic, and then I go over them with oil, and sometimes even oil pastel. And then because my galleries sometimes prefer an oil painting. to an acrylic. People are really weird. They really like the oil paintings better than the acrylic ones for whatever reason. Here we go. Now, I do have to be super careful not to mix these colors because they are complements. And if I accidentally mix them when they're really wet like this, I will get a muddy mess. I have to just be a little bit careful. Remember what the teacher screaming, "You made mud"? And at least now I know why it happened. But they literally would just yell at you about it and not tell you why. So I always tell people why, and I also have people intentionally mix the complements because the thing they didn't tell us was that complements mixed together can make beautiful, beautiful neutrals, and we need to know how to do it intentionally so that we can mix the beautiful neutrals to do things like skin tones. We need to know that. I don't know. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave this thing here. I'm going to check here. Do you guys have questions? Because I would be happy to answer any kind of questions you might have. I don't see anything on here. Let me see. Let me go down and see. I don't see anything. But I'm so happy that you guys all came and hung out with me today. I'm here every Sunday for live stream, every week. And I would be more than happy to answer questions for you anytime you might have them. So happy to see you all here. I don't know where you're all from. Hi, Zori. I know it's probably not snowing there, but the whole United States practically is having a giant snowstorm. It's probably nice and warm where you are, Zori. It's probably nice and warm. I'm so jealous. We're having a blizzard today where I am, so so glad you're here. So thank you so much. I'll be back for live stream on next Sunday at 1 o'clock, and there'll be a video and probably shorts because I like to put my shorts up. Ah, okay. I hope you. I eat a mango for me. They're my favorite. I love mangoes. I wish I could pick a mango. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'll see everybody next week, and there'll be a video, possibly a short or two, at least 2, because that's what I try to do, 2 or 3. And I'll see everybody this week. I always do this, and people crack up. Hi, everybody. All right, I have my hat on because I'm always frozen. All right, I'll see you all next week. Take care, everyone.